Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining. Today is our um, paying customers webinar, and I'd like to know where you are joining from. If you are joining from YouTube, from LinkedIn, or well, I'll be able to watch for YouTube. I'm not sure about LinkedIn now, but maybe later we will be able to check those for LinkedIn. My name is Just eBay, and I am the lead consultant at the Just eBay company. We specialize in creating irresistible offers for your products and services so that you can consistently generate revenue. And our job today is very simple. We want to be able to help you craft out an entire roadmap or an entire blueprint that allows you to smash your revenue goal this month, this quarter, and of course, for the rest of 2022 financial year. And so one of the things that we'll really focus on in this session is to truly help you understand how customers think, and to a very large extent would also begin to look at some of the things that I think we should pay attention to as far as business and marketing and sales is concerned in the times that we are in. So if you are just joining, I would love for you to please invite as many people as possible. People too can be a part of what we are doing here today. Okay? Okay. I would like to just wait just for a few more minutes to see how many people are coming up in. We are trying to bring the slides up. I think we may have challenges sharing our slides. If we do, we would have to function without it and just figure out a way to make it work. Okay? I don't want to battle with that for long. I'll just focus on teaching as much as I can, and then I'll keep referring to the slides in between the session. Okay, so my name is Justine, like I said earlier, and let's go straight into today's conversation. Why are we focusing on the paying customers? I know that the very heart of what majority of us CEOs and founders of small businesses will be thinking about is, I just want to make money. I want to increase my revenue. I want to increase my sales. I want my marketing team to do better than they did in the previous financial year. And those are valid conversations. Those are valid desires. But I find that before you pay attention to those things, you must first understand at the core of what you should be paying attention to is your customers. They're the same people who did business with you last year. They're the same people who will do business with you this year. So nothing really has changed except you focus on them. It means that if you're focusing on reinventing the wheel, creating new strategies, restructuring your processes and systems without paying attention to the people who matter the most, what would happen is you would almost be creating a theoretical approach with which you want to be able to hit your numbers. And so here's what we decided to do. Help you truly look at your customers holistically. How do they make buying decisions? And I know that for majority of businesses, you may not have been paying attention to these things, but I dare say if you begin to implement this immediately, you will see a rapid shift in the way your customers respond to your products and services. Customers are looking for what they are looking for. You as a business owner is trying to sell them what you want to sell. And most times when customers are looking for what they desire, they have embedded in their subconscious mind what they are looking to see as the different things that must pass before they actually make that buying decision. The buying decision is not made because of how beautiful your advertorial is. It's not made because of how beautiful your campaign is. It's not made because of how beautiful your sales pitch or convincing your sales pitch is. Those things add up on the layer. But what's most important, in fact, as far as the customer is concerned, is that you draw a connecting line between what you're trying to sell to them and what they woke up in their heart desiring to buy, or what they woke up in their heart as a pain point with. So your ability to consistently align your offerings with what they are looking to get would help you a very long way consistently align with your customers as far as the money is concerned. And so one of the things that we're going to get from this webinar is, number one, how do you achieve your revenue target? Number two, how do you identify and provoke buying triggers? Number three, how do you create offers around products and services that customers would yearn for? Number four, how do you design sales and marketing systems that convert? We'll just touch on these things skeletally, but I want to at least first focus on how do you provoke buying, or how do you identify and provoke buying triggers? That's what I want to first focus on. Every human being, especially in the times we're in right now, is moved much more by audio-visual conversations. Meaning that as much as I love to hear it, I want to say it. And because there's a connection between the audio and the visual, it makes customers get the message faster. I'm just trying to simplify this without going into the science and the neurology of what audio and visual does to the human brain. I'm trying to, just bring it practically, make it practical as possible. And so when they see the audios and visual, it begins to send messages to them to say, this is what I was thinking about, or this is what I am thinking about, or this is what I'm looking for. And this person, by what I can see and hear, they seem to have an understanding of what I have been looking for. So look at this. They seem to see, because they see and hear, they seem to think that this person who they are seeing and hearing has an understanding of what they are trying to achieve. So it makes them feel like I should pay attention to this person. I should draw closer to this person. One of the things that you must also understand about your customers is customers don't like to be sold to, even if they want to buy. So that means if you have created an entire pitch on how to sell to your customers from Monday to Friday through Saturday, and then Monday through Friday to Saturday, you're almost setting up your company to fail, or you're almost setting up your numbers to really, really suffer, because customers don't like being sold to, even when they want to buy. So the mix now begins to have, the questions you now need to begin to ask is, so if they don't want me to sell to them, how then am I going to put my products and services in front of them as though, as much as I want to make money? So as business owners, you now need to start saying, what are your customers' inherent needs? And when I say inherent needs, I know that every time we hear things like, what are their pain points? What are they looking to achieve? But I like to say that every time a customer makes an extrinsic need, or an extrinsic decision, meaning the day I decide to buy, something has gone on inside of me that made me decide this is what I'm going to buy, this is who I'm going to buy from, and this is why I'm going to buy from that person. So your job as a business owner, as a CEO of a company, is to work with your team to identify the intrinsic desire in the hearts of your customers, tie your product and services to that intrinsic desire, and then create content, materials, advertorials, campaigns that target that intrinsic need. The intrinsic need is what can make a person get up from their bed and decide, I need this thing now like air. Because intrinsic needs are almost as intangible needs. Intrinsic needs are much more, I'm looking for the exact word to use now. We chase after our intrinsic needs as though like air. That's how it is. So a typical example is this. Somebody is looking for something that will feed their self-esteem, right? And you're trying to sell to them maybe the latest kind of sunglasses. I'm using that as an example. Say you sell sunglasses, or let's not use sunglasses. You sell recommended glasses. You're an eye care specialist, and you sell recommended glasses that are of different designs. And you're trying to sell that to a regular person who has a job or is an executive at a company. And you're thinking about, how do I sell this to this person? As opposed to saying, well, come and buy beautiful looking glasses so that you can look good and do your work and all of that. You now need to start identifying the person you're trying to sell to. If he's trying to meet an intrinsic desire of class, acceptability, or beefing up his self-esteem, you now realize that that's a need that is groaning for expression inside. Because it's seeking expression from inside, it's easy for you to tie your marketing message, your advertorial, your campaign to that intrinsic desire the person is battling with, and saying, if you are the nerd in the office that everybody's used to ignoring, and you know that you want to be accepted. Do you see what I'm saying? And you know that you want to be accepted. You can still be nerdy, stylish, and classy. You can be nerdy, stylish, and classy. Or you can be very serious, stylish, and classy. So the person who is ordinarily a nerd or serious-minded, as labeled by people around him or her, would realize that, okay, because I'm battling with esteem issues based off of how people have labeled me, I can actually be stylish and classy wearing these eye glasses from this eye care specialist. So you have tied the glasses and made it not just a glass, but tied it to the intrinsic desire of the customer you're trying to sell to. That way the customer feels like this is a need. This has kept me sleepless. This has made me feel like I'm not part of the pack. And this has almost segregated me from what is going on. So that way they don't look at that product as just a product. They look at it as the answer to the problem they have been crying for solution for. And I just use an example of just that particular one. That's one out of many examples that goes on. Whether you sell hair, whether you sell services like HR services, or you sell branding services, or you sell building materials, or you sell real estate, you must be able to identify customers' intrinsic need, tailor your product and services to that intrinsic need, build offers around that intrinsic needs, and then create different copies that tailor to the customer's intrinsic need to see what will work best for your customer. That way, you can get the best campaigns, the best advertorial, the best marketing style or pitch that work for your customers, and keep projecting it to them throughout the course of the year. So it's important to identify this. To understand this fundamental before we even go into all the different things that we must pay attention to. Okay. And then to be able to now move forward from here, you now need to start asking questions like, what exactly is an offer? Because we have talked about what it means to be able to get people to pay attention to you. The next question to actually ask yourself is, what exactly is an offer? But while we are thinking about what the offer is, we must understand that in order for us to identify and provoke buying triggers, people must be able to identify our customer's pain, because pain is a reminder that unless your customer has a need to solve a problem, they are not going to buy your product. So in order for you to actually help or locate the triggers from your customers, you must ask some major questions like, how exactly or what exactly gets your prospect into serious buying mood? What exactly? And then what can you do to help a prospect recognize their own triggers? Because sometimes customers have a pain point, they don't even know that it's a pain point. And then your consistent content and advertorial and marketing messages will begin to show to them this thing you are ignoring is costing you A, B, C, and D, and E. Now, this is for customers who sell things that are not necessarily popular and are not considered as instant needs by customers. Anything can be bought, anything will be bought if you are able to identify the triggers of your customers and create packages around that trigger so that your customers can see that this is something they technically need. Okay, the next thing I truly want to talk about very quickly is offer, right? What does it mean to have an offer? An offer is a strategic structuring of your products and services where the value to cost ratio is value heavy. Let's make that very simple, meaning that an offer is something that your customers that repaints or restructures your product and service in a way that they are looking at the product, but they cannot see that you are charging them XYZ amount of money. Instead, they are seeing how much gain they are getting from just paying attention to you. That's what an offer is. An offer makes what it is you are giving your customers look to them like this thing is value heavy and they pay zero attention to the cost. That's what an offer is. So how then do you create these sort of offers that make your customers actually feel like, okay, I need this more than anything, right? The first thing to really pay attention to is there are a few strategies and there are a few methods of creating offers. Number one is bundling. Number two is value adds. Number three is attention grabbing risk reversal. And that's where you offer people things like money back guarantee. If you do XYZ, I guarantee that this will happen. And I know majority of us know that, right? And also discounting correctly. But I want to talk very quickly about what it means to create offers. We as SMEs, especially as SMEs, think that to be able to create an offer, you have to have like a proper discount to attract your customers to do business with you. That's not necessarily what an offer means. An offer does not always mean that you have to give a massive discount like it's done in Black Friday sales and all those cyber sales that is done online. It necessarily means that show the customer the value, show them the value and almost de-emphasize the cost. show them the value, almost de-emphasize the cost. And if you are going to emphasize the cost, compare what they would lose as opposed to what they will gain. Do you see this? What they will lose if they don't take that offer as opposed to what they will gain. Customers make more move when they understand what is at stake as opposed to what will I get. So the way it is if a customer has headaches and a person is just trying to boost their immunity, most times the person who has headache will look for Panadol or aspirin like they are looking for air. Why? Because headache is painful and you want it gone. But somebody who's trying to take multivitamins to just boost their immune system, at that time, multivitamins will just be optional. It's not a do or die affair as at that time because of the intensity of the problem. Okay, so it's easy for you to tell somebody who has a headache, you better take this paracetamol now. If not, your head is going to get banging and it can lead to this, it can lead to that, it can lead to this. Do you see? It's easy for them to make that decision now as opposed to the other person who doesn't see, well, this is not really a pain point. So your job when you are creating irresistible offers is to consistently amplify the value. And if you must emphasize the cost, emphasize it with a ratio to say, if you don't do this now, this is what is at stake for your business, for your company, for your health, for your life, depending on what it is you're trying to sell. That way, your offer is value heavy. So comparing value to cost ratio is value heavy. That way, customers feel like, okay, I need to be here. I need to do this now. The next thing to pay attention to is bundling in order to be able to actually make offers very irresistible. It means that you should be able to, at every time, look at what exactly you're trying to give customers and give them more than enough for what they think was possible. So if you were going to get 3 products for a price of $100, you can give them 5 products and say the same $100, take this. That's bundling. Okay, and with value add is almost like bundling. The difference is that you add something on top of the bundle, yet without an extra cost. So you would look at your business and begin to look at what exactly works for you, what works for the kind of customers that you serve, what works for the kind of business that you do, and how you think your customers actually respond to this sort of offers that you give to them. Depending on the kind of business that you do, you may not need to really apply any of this. But I almost want to say there's hardly any category of customer that does not appreciate bundles, offers, value adds, and even at money back guarantees, depending on what it is you're trying to sell. Okay, the next thing I want us to look at very quickly as we wrap up our webinar today is how do you design sales and marketing systems that convert? One of the things that we must pay attention to is, in order for you to design a sales and marketing system that converts, there has to be an alignment between the people who actually sell to the customer, and the brain behind the business. There has to be an alignment between your sales and marketing team, you, the founder of the business who is trying to create this product, and then the end user. That means what we think we want to sell versus what we understand the customers are looking for versus what they are looking for. 3 different things. What we think we want to sell, what we understand the customers are looking for, and what the customers are actually looking for. These 3 pillars, these 3 core pillars are where I find that a lot of businesses miss it completely. We have an idea of a fantastic product to create for our market, and then we go ahead with designing these products and services, forgetting that what we think the customers are looking for may not necessarily be what the customers are looking for. So there now becomes a misalignment between what I want to offer and what my customer is looking for. And then you keep marketing, you keep putting out this content and nobody seems to be responding. Why? There's a misalignment. However, there are certain businesses where even if there is a misalignment, it's not because they don't need it, but sometimes they may not know that they need it yet. So in this case, once you identify that your own case is such that they don't know they need it yet, you now need to pay more attention into educating them on why they need what you are offering and how it will benefit their lives, their business, their relationship, depending on exactly their health, depending on exactly what you are offering. So in designing a marketing and sales system, the first thing to pay attention to is the alignment. So how do you do that? Ask yourself specific questions, do periodic interviews or surveys with the customers that you do business with, to ask them, especially, what is your challenge? And in this moment, what are you looking to solve? Okay, those are the kind of things that you must begin to truly put in place if you want to get the best out of creating a sales system. Once you now have this, the next is now start looking at what number of products you want to sell in the month or in the quarter. Let's take a monthly approach. If you were going to sell, say, 14 4 products in this month, you need to create customized sales and marketing systems for each of those products so that they can consistently and independently bring in clients. How do you do that? First, you must have a sales and marketing, a content development team. This content development team, their job is to actually design the content that matches what the customers are looking for, both intrinsically and extrinsically, meaning our desire and our actual need. You must have a content team, or if you're the founder of an SME, you should design the content where you know that this content is pulling out the desires of your customers intrinsically and matching it with your product. And you have a theme that addresses that if you are going to sell 4 different products, and create that for each of those so that it can drive publicity to each of those repeatedly. And of course, we cannot overemphasize the importance of we cannot overemphasize the importance of actually creating a marketing budget, no matter how small. As an entrepreneur, you need that to be able to reach the kind of people that you want to reach. One of those things also that we must pay attention to is cross-border kind of conversations, meaning people who influence over the customers you want to do business with, having partnerships with them that allow you reach those people to reach the people you want to do business with. And this may not be the entirety of your marketing plan. I did do a teaching on how to design a simple marketing plan. You can find it on any of my social media pages, both on LinkedIn and on Instagram. We may just put it on YouTube so that as many people as possible will just go learn from it how to create a simple marketing plan for all your different products. That way, consistently, you have a strategy that keeps bringing customers into your business repeatedly. I also cannot underemphasize or overemphasize, as that's the right word now. I cannot overemphasize the importance of training, retraining of the men and women who work with you to deliver your numbers. If you are the CEO of a mid-level company, it's imperative to equip your staffs with the required competencies to be able to close sales. Because one of the things I observe about the customers we're going to be selling to, that I said earlier, they don't like to be sold to, but they want to buy. What happens when you attempt to sell to a customer? Instantly, their defenses go up. And when their defenses go up, automatically there are objections. And that's why you may say, hello, sir. Or maybe in a cold call, you pick up your phone and say, hello, my name is XYZ from this insurance company. The minute they hear that, they automatically feel that this person wants to sell to me. What happens? Sorry, I'm in a meeting. Can I call you back? Why do you think customers do that? They do that because automatically they don't want to be sold to. So they beef up their defenses and give you reasons why they can't talk now. And that's why if you are going to be a cold caller or you do cold calling in your business, there has to be a strategic approach that allows you one more into the person's mind. Hello, sir. My name is Just Ibe, and I'm calling you from XYZ organization. How are you doing today? How's work? How's work started? And with sincerity and a depth of, I truly want to know. It cannot be scripted and, yeah, I'm here for a reason. And customers can pick all those expressions, they can pick all those energy, they can tell from 1 million miles away. So these are trainings that your team must have to be able to them to bring in numbers. So when you do put out calls to customers, especially when it's cold calls, it's not necessarily because you want to close the sales. It's because you want to familiarize yourself with them or get from them if they are even a fit for the business that you're trying to sell to them. And I know that we come from a school, a lot of us have learned things like you have to be aggressive with cold calling. Tell them why you want to buy. Why you are calling them. You want to sell to them. That's not how it works. If you keep doing that, you will keep getting people whose defenses are beefed up because customers don't want to be sold to, right? So you must at every point in time make sure that you are reaching out to people who are not throwing the objection card at you before everything. That your approach, your presentation, your pitch at every point in time supersedes their upcoming objections. That way, before they even think about it, you have addressed their upcoming objections. And these are things that I teach specifically when I come to train organizations. So if you are in a CEO of a mid-level organization and you have a sales and marketing team and need to train them on how to close sales and handle objections, that's a specific training we'll offer to businesses. You just need to send us an email via info@justebay.com and copy ebayjust@gmail.com. Okay, or you can just use any of our social media pages, either on LinkedIn or Instagram, to reach us just to say to us you want this for your business. That way, we can prepare your team to be able to close as much sales as possible. And to bring this to a close, I want to talk about two things that I find very important and will make a difference in your business. We live in a world that is driven by capitalist systems. And we see this even with the level or the approach with which people try to buy and sell products and services. They are most times trying to shove the products and services down the throat of the people who want to buy. And that's why you find that everybody will do any and everything to stumble on the next person just to make sure that product gets to the hands of the consumers. That can't be us again as business owners and as founders of CEOs, especially if you want to build a sustainable business. Because if you keep doing the capitalist system, for how long will you keep fighting to be in the face of the customers? How about you focus on what I call the economics of care? The economics of care builds brand loyalty. It builds brand loyalty. And brand loyalty is what brings about sustainability in any and every business. So your approach from today, and of course, this is a decision you must reach with your team, your sales team, your marketing team, to say, we are not going to be those business owners that are going to be so aggressive because all we want to do is shove down our products and services down people's throats. But we want to build a team of customers who will now become loyalists, and by themselves will begin to go and tell others about us. And the major thing to focus on if you want to take this approach is the economics of care. The customer is not a money making, the customer is not an ATM machine. The customer is not a transaction. The customer is a person like you with needs. The person's needs is what puts you in business. If they don't have needs as a person, you are not in business. So if you're going to service their need as a business owner, you must be humane. You must care. And that's what I call the economics of care. You must care enough to get their attention as though this person has my interest at heart. And that will bring them to you, keep them loyal to you. And then, of course, we keep them to keep coming back to you. So, dear entrepreneurs, right now is now time to go back to all your systems and processes and do an overhaul to say everywhere we have been capitalistic, it's time to now start nurturing leads. It's time to start nurturing customers. It's time to start building customer base that are loyalists who by themselves will begin to announce us to different quarters and who by themselves would even want to partner with us to blow up the brand, blow up the business into terrains where we may not ordinarily be able to reach into. Okay, and that's how we truly begin to grow in leaps and bounds, even in ways that you did not expect. If you see every customer that comes into your business as a potential partner, because they are your partner. In this case, most of you look at your customers as your financial partner. That's all you see them as. But embedded in every customer is not just a financial partner. It's also a partner that can help you scale into new markets, into new territories, into new regions, okay? That can help you even add complementary or supplementary product because of how much they feel like they are a part of what it is you do. They begin to tell you, well, I love your product, but I think that after using your product for so long, it would be nice to see a complementary product like this as part of what it is that you do. Why? You don't see them as a transaction. They feel like they're part of this based off of how they felt just doing business with you. And so, because this is January, we have the entire 2022 to actually go back and rejig our systems. It is time to truly refocus on the economics of care. That way, you'll be able to build a brand that would have loyalists as customers, and of course, by themselves begin to announce you to as many quarters as possible. But most importantly, if you love customers and customers know that you love them, it's almost effortless. The money will come again and again and again and again, non-stop. It's just a matter of time. So I hope that this has been extremely helpful. This is a 30 minutes webinar. I hope that this has been extremely helpful for every person who has tuned in. But like I said, one of the things I want to offer here for everyone who is here, I have a program called the Social Media Sellout Formula. It's a 9-module course that teaches you everything around positioning your business to make massive sales on social media. It teaches you how to identify in specific terms who you should be selling to per time, how to create the contents that will get their attention, how to actually brand and position your business to get their attention, how to create sales and marketing systems specifically for those customers, and many more things that you will learn from the social media sellout formula. This program or this online course, yes, is open to both CEOs and their employees alike. All you need, or even founders of SMS, all you need to do to get this is go to justebay.com slash. I hope I'm able to do that now. 1 minute. Let me just see if I can display that for those who want the SMS formula. Yes, justebay.com/SMS. Justebay.com/SMS. It's a 9-module program that actually allows you to learn the A to Z of doing business practically on the online space and be profitable. Okay, and it truly helps you cut through the chase of how do I get people to know me? How do I get people to follow me? How do I get people to pay attention to the products and services I sell? All of these things you will learn in this program and more. The best part is if you do take advantage of this program now, you get to be a part of a community where I actually take time to answer specific questions for some of our customers. And of course, that gives you access for us to brainstorm about the different training needs your organization has. Terms and conditions apply. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for joining today's webinar. Please feel free to share this with as many people as possible who want to be able to learn also how to crack this buyer's journey. I look forward to seeing you again in our next broadcast. Until then, please stay innovative, stay winning, stay consistent, and keep smashing your goals. God bless you.